New footage shows Trippie Redd, right before 6ix9ine's girlfriend's murder, threatening the lives of those closest to him. Oh no, we definitely got footage at this mom crib. She live in building 18 out here. Word is, 6ix9ine's mom was nowhere to be found, and his girlfriend ended up paying the price. Trippie could be getting arrested any moment now. I've got all the details. Let's break it down. The disturbing footage, the new footage of Trippie Redd issuing straight death threats against Tekashi 69 ain't just some typical rap beef anymore. Not after what happened to 6ix9ine's shorty Ariella Lancosta Mejia Polano, who got smoked execution style on August 17, 2025. This ain't coincidence, fam. This is what happens when street beefs go from Instagram live drama to real gangster in the trenches. See, in the hood, words have weight. When he says he's going to body you, especially when he's got connects and street cred like Trippie, that ain't just cap. That's a promise written in blood, and what we're seeing with Ariella's murder might just be that promise finally come due. Just not on the person everyone expected. This ain't subliminal disses or metaphorical bars. This is straight up I'm gonna kill you energy. And when you got gang ties like both these dudes do, that carries serious weight in the streets. Trippie ain't just talking tough, he's making a blood oath right there on camera. And that Osama bin Tekashi line, that's some cold, disrespectful. Basically calling 6ix9ine a terrorist that needs to be hunted down and eliminated from the game. But it gets way more sinister when you peep the other threats Trippie was dropping during this whole beat. During a heated Instagram live confrontation, in May 2018, Trippie Redd directly threatened 6ix9ine with violence, stating, "I'm even going to kill you with medicine, and when I see you, take your flag off." That medicine line is some cryptic street talk that could mean anything from poison to bullets. Either way, homie was talking about sending 6ix9ine to meet his maker. He also invoked family by challenging 6ix9ine to "don't lie, put that on your mother," and referenced his own family for emphasis like, "put this on my daughter's life," while accusing 6ix9ine of promoting domestic violence. When these guys start swearing on their kids' lives in the hood, that's when you know just got real serious. That's blood in, blood out type energy. Who you talking about, bro? You mean what I'm talking about? What dad homies you talking about? Call your dad homies. Who I'm talking about? All of you talking about you and your dad homies. What are you talking about? I'm gangster. I'm gangster like that? Oh, you gangster. You know I'm gangster like that. Where you at? I'm in Brooklyn where I'm at. I'm in Brooklyn. Stay in Brooklyn. I'm stay mother. You can hear the murder in Trippie's voice right there. This ain't no studio gangster. This is real street energy from a dude who's ready to slide on his ops with the whole squad. In another Instagram live session, Trippie Redd threatened to beat the hell out of 6ix9ine upon catching him. But we all know beat the D out of in street terms can mean way more than just hands. The most chilling part of all this is how Trippie started building a whole murder squad with other rappers who had beef with 6ix9ine. In May 2018, amid 6ix9ine's separate dispute with Chief Keef and Tattoo over allegations that Tedao abused his girlfriend Cuban Doll. This is when the street started to really heat up. Trippie Redd aligned with Tedao and Chief Keef, releasing the diss track "I Kill People" as a direct shot at 6ix9ine. Y'all, the title alone should tell you everything you need to know. This wasn't just another disc record. This was a murder anthem with multiple shooters ready to catch bodies. The coldest part about all this, Trippie Redd previewed the track on Instagram, captioning it as strictly about killing people and entering album mode, framing it as a response to 6ix9ine's antics. Homie wasn't even trying to hide what time it was. He straight up said this song was strictly about killing people in the hood. When you put that kind of energy out there, it's basically a green light for anybody who wants to earn some street credit. Now, to understand how we got to this level of deadly animosity, we got to rewind to when these two were actually cool. The two initially became friends and collaborators in the SoundCloud rap scene back when both of them were just hungry young trying to make it out the struggle. Trippie flew 6ix9ine out to his studio and provided him with 3 Pierre-born beats, essentially putting his homie on with some serious production. This collaboration session was supposed to be a come-up for both of them, resulting in tracks like Poles, 1469, OE, and most importantly, what would become 6ix9ine's breakthrough hit Gum. And we had did the songs. Wait. So. That's where Poles and all that came from. That one like, yeah, I had flew him out, bro. And that's where Poles came from. That's where Gumo came from. But here's where the snake started. Trippie was supposed to be featured on Gumo, but decided to hold off because he wanted to go crazy on that particular beat. That decision would come back to haunt him, because 6ix9ine took that beat back to New York and turned it into the viral hit that made him a star. It was all my beats, and we was supposed to do Gumo as the last song, but the I didn't want to just put anything on that beat. You know what I'm saying? I want to go crazy on that. So I just said I'ma get on it later. What makes this betrayal even more foul is that Trippie didn't know at the time that Gumo was actually conceived as a diss track aimed directly at him. 6ix9ine used Trippie's own beat, Trippie's own studio, and Trippie's own hospitality to create a weapon against him. That's some next-level snake behavior right there. During his 2019 federal testimony, 6ix9ine revealed that he felt envious because Trippie was signed to a label first, and their collaboration had been successful, but he harbored resentment about their professional relationship. So basically, homie was plotting on Trippie from day one while smiling in his face and eating at his table. But the real breaking point came when Trippie learned about 6ix9ine's 2015 legal case involving the use of a child in all performance. For Trippie, who had personal trauma in his family, this wasn't something he could overlook or forgive. But the whole situation is just like I figured out, bro did that with that little girl, and I ain't like that, bro. My sister was rap with that type of she-wo. When Trippie found out about the paperwork on 6ix9ine's case, it was a wrap. Trippie made it clear that he had seen the legal paperwork documenting 6ix9ine's guilty plea, and this wasn't something he was willing to rock with. It's paperwork on that, bro. Like, it ain't, did you ever talk to him like, yo, bro? Like, I ain't going to lie, like, bro, he pulled up on me and I was ready to hit with him. And bro was like, I'm emotional, I'm in my feelings, I want to talk. That's what he told me. And we was talking and we talked about it and he was talking about I'm like, bro, it online. I'm like, bro, it's paperwork. He like, bro, I don't care, bro. That's fake. I'm like, bro, it's not fake, bro. It's a legal document. Like, bro, like, I seen it. Zilla sent it to me. Even when 6ix9ine tried to convince Trippie that the charges were fake, Trippie stood his ground. He had seen the court documents with his own eyes, and there was no disputing the reality of what had happened. In the hood, when you violate kids, that's an automatic death sentence in most minds. The violence escalated quickly after that moral line got crossed. Trippie was allegedly attacked at a New York hotel by members of 6ix9ine's 9 Trey crew in November 2017. This wasn't just a random scuffle. This was an organized hit ordered by 6ix9ine himself. Bro had waiting for me at my hotel, some 9 Trey. Soon as I walk in the building, hit right in my mouth. Got hit in my mouth. Then my beat his, and then they ran. So I chased myself mostly. I ran them down myself. Me, myself, and I could die in the hotel. 6ix9ine later testified in court that he orchestrated this attack, proving that Trippie's accusations were 100% accurate. When you send gang members to assault someone who used to be your friend, you've crossed a line that can never be uncrossed. By this point, both artists had gang connections that made their threats extremely credible. 6ix9ine had become affiliated with the 9 Trey Gangster Bloods in fall 2017. While during his federal testimony, 6ix9ine would claim that Trippie Redd was affiliated with the 59 Brims, a rival blood set. This gang element is what separates regular rap beef from the deadly serious situation we're dealing with here. When you got real shooters backing your play, threats of violence become promises of violence. And when those promises involve hitting blocks and killing people, innocent folks like Ariela Polano can end up caught in the crossfire. Looking back at all these death threats and acts of violence, what happened to Ariela starts to make a lot more sense. When you can't get to your primary target, you hit what he loves most. That's Street Justice 101. And it's exactly what might have happened on that highway in Mount Vernon. When the streets collected their debt, August 17th, 2025, is a date that's going to be remembered in hip-hop forever. Hip-hop forever. Not for some fire album drop or legendary performance, but for the day the streets finally collected on years of debt and an innocent woman paid the ultimate price. Ariela Mesa Polano, a 33-year-old Dominican influencer known as Ariela Langosta, was found shot dead inside her car on the eastbound lanes of the Cross County Parkway near Exit 7 in Mount Vernon, New York. This wasn't no random drive-by or robbery gone wrong, fam. This was an execution, plain and simple. Police responded to a 911 call around 8 a.m., reporting a disabled vehicle partially on the shoulder where they discovered her in the driver's seat with multiple gunshot wounds. The Westchester County Medical Examiner's Office confirmed her cause of death as gunshot wounds, and authorities ruled it a homicide. Ariela was closely associated with rapper Tekashi 6ix9ine, having appeared in his 2023 music video for the song Wapai. But their connection ran way deeper than just business, y'all. While most reports describe her as a good friend and collaborator, some sources and social media posts speculated on romantic ties with viral claims referring to her as his girlfriend. The timeline of her final hours is heartbreaking when you really think about it. Ariela left her shift at Icon, New York around 4:30 a.m. and was driving home when she was fatally shot multiple times. Picture this. Shorty just finished a long night at work, probably tired as hell, just trying to get home to her bed, and some coward assassins were waiting in the cut to smoke her. Her final social media post shared shortly before expressed feeling, happy and blessed, adding a tragic irony to her death. That's what makes this whole situation even moored up. She had no idea that death was stalking her. She was living her life, feeling grateful, posting her positive energy, and somebody was plotting to end her existence over some that had nothing to do with her personally. Whatever he did, like I always say, man, get your man, get your man, get your man, get your man. If y'all looking for 6ix9ine, if y'all thought that was revenge, that definitely some revenge to hurt him. What's really disturbing is how this murder fits into a pattern of violence that's been surrounding 6ix9ine for years. Ariela's connection to 6ix9ine began around 2018, and in that same year, she was reportedly kidnapped by members of the 9 Trey Gangster Bloods after they mistook her for one of his close associates during a period of internal gang conflicts. That 2018 kidnapping is a crucial detail that a lot of people are overlooking. It shows that Ariela had already been targeted once because of her connection to 6ix9ine, and she survived that attempt. But the streets don't forget, and they damn sure don't forget. What happened in 2025 might have been the completion of something that started back in 2018. When 6ix9ine found out about Ariela's murder, his reaction told us everything we needed to know about how close they really were. Tekashi paid emotional tribute on his Instagram stories, sharing videos of them together dancing on a roller coaster, in a car, and partying while calling her my sister, the Queen of New York, and a tremendous woman. He wrote messages like, "You supported me in everything. NY won't ever be the same. I loved you. Yay, I love you. Mogra, and there is no heart that can replace yours," accompanied by broken heart emojis. The pain in those posts was real. But so was the implication that her death was directly connected to her loyalty to him. When he called her the Queen of New York and talked about how much she supported him, he was basically confirming that she was deep in his inner circle. In street terms, that made her a legitimate target for anybody who wanted to hurt him, but couldn't get close enough to touch him directly. Other tributes poured in from the entertainment community, with Cardi B sharing a photo of Maya Polano on her Instagram story, writing, "Rip Dominican Pretty." The fact that major figures in hip-hop were mourning her death shows just how connected she was to the scene, which also explains why she became a target. The police statement is important because it confirms what the streets already knew. This was a targeted assassination. The word isolated doesn't mean it was random. It means it was specific to Ariella and her circumstances. And what were those circumstances? Her close association with one of the most hated figures in hip-hop. Yo, so a couple days ago, man, 6ix9ine's girlfriend was murdered sitting in the car. This is like crazy, gang. I don't know, like a beautiful lady, man. King Yella's reaction captures exactly what everyone in the hip-hop community was thinking. This murder was revenge against 6ix9ine carried out by hitting someone he cared about. The logic is simple but brutal. If you can't touch the man himself, you touch what he loves most, and you make sure he suffers for the rest of his life, knowing that his enemies got close enough to kill his people. The method of execution also tells us a lot about who might have been behind this. Multiple gunshots, professional surveillance of hair routine, and the boldness to carry out the hit on a major highway. This wasn't some amateur. This was done by people who had resources, planning, and the kind of street credibility that comes from being connected to serious criminal organizations. Police say she was expected home, and when she failed to arrive, family members drove around, trying to find her, and came upon the scene. This detail suggests that her family knew her routine well enough to worry when she didn't show up on time, which means the killers probably knew her routine too. They had been watching, waiting, and planning. The location of the murder is also significant. Mount Vernon is right on the border of the Bronx, which is heart of 9 trade territory, and also close to areas where both Trippie and 6ix9ine have connections. Whoever did this chose a spot where they could execute the hit and disappear quickly into familiar territory. As of August 27, 2025, no suspects have been named. No arrests have been made, and details such as the exact time of the shooting or potential motives remain undisclosed due to the ongoing investigation. But the streets don't need an official investigation to know what happened here. This murder represents a new level of escalation in the ongoing wars surrounding 6ix9ine. We've gone from social media threats to actual executions, and if somebody was willing to kill an innocent woman just because she was close to 6ix9ine, it means nobody in his circle is safe. Not his family, not his friends, not his business partners, nobody. The killing of Ariel Mejia Polano is a message written in blood delivered to 6ix9ine and anyone else who might be thinking about crossing the wrong people in these streets. The message is simple. We can't touch you directly right now, but we can. Touch everyone you love, and we will until you pay for what you've done. The multiple murder motives. While Trippie Redd's death threats provide one strong theory for who might have ordered the hit on Ariella, the cold reality is that 6ix9ine has so many dudes who want him dead that this could have been anybody. Homies. Got more enemies than Tony Montana in his final scene. And every single one of them has legitimate reasons to want to see him suffer. When you can't get to the main target, you hit his loved ones. That's Street Warfare 101. And 6ix9ine's decision to snitch on his own people created the biggest target on his back in hip-hop history. The most dangerous enemy 6ix9ine made came from his decision to flip on the very who had his back in the streets. Daniel Hernandez became affiliated with the 9 Trey Gangster Bloods in the fall of 2017, using their rep and muscle to build his street credibility while he funded their operations with his rap money. But when the feds came knocking, this did something that violated every code of the streets. He cooperated. On November 18, 2018, Hernandez and 5 other 9 Trey members' associates were arrested in a joint operation by the ATF, NYPD, and DHS on charges including racketeering, conspiracy, firearms offenses, and conspiracy to commit murder. Facing a potential life sentence, minimum 47 years, he pleaded guilty to 9 charges on January 23, 2019, admitting his gang membership and agreeing to cooperate as a government witness. Y'all gotta understand, in the hood, snitching is worse than murder. You can kill somebody and still maintain respect in certain circles, but once you cooperate with the police, you're marked for death forever. There's no coming back from that violation. No amount of money or fame that can wash that stain off your name. The scope of 6ix9ine's snitching was something hip-hop had never seen before. During the September 2019 trial of 9 Trey members Anthony Harv, Ellison and Algeria Nuke Mac, Hernandez testified extensively over 3 days detailing gang structure, his involvement, and naming other alleged members like Cardi B and Jim Jones. Was up there snitching on everybody, gang members, rappers, producers, anybody who had ever shown him love in the streets. His cooperation was described as game-changing and led to convictions, including Ellison's. 24 years sentenced for racketeering and kidnapping. We're talking about getting football numbers 20, 30, 40 years in the pen because of 6ix9ine's testimony. When you saw all these dudes that you're cool with getting football numbers because of one guy, I mean, you can't just blame it on him, but he was sort of the piece that put it all together and got them all on the, took the stand and told on everybody, which really hasn't happened in hip-hop before, not to that extent. Joel Santana hit the nail on the head right there. This level of cooperation was unprecedented in hip-hop. A former Nin Trey member, Denard Drama Butler, later detailed in interviews how Hernandez's snitching dismantled the gang, leading